What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on this quote from Rich Paul, right? And I mean, I just really feel like Rich Paul, LeBron James, and that Clutch Sports, they really it's official. These guys have really lost their mind. So the quote says, "When LeBron retires, NBA ratings will drop." First of all, NBA ratings have already dropped, and also attendance has already dropped. So like I don't think that they're really going to go any lower than what they are. I think because of like last year, this past season, when OKC in the playoffs and stuff, like I thought they brought more excitement. Like the style of basketball that was being played last year in the playoffs and in the championship, to me, looks like the NBA is starting to turn itself back around with these new crop of players. You got you got Shea Alexander Gilgris, or I forgot how you pronounce his name, but you got him. Then you got the kid in Indiana. Like these guys who utilize that mid-range game, just bringing a whole nother more exciting element back to basketball. So it's not just about the three-pointer and or either the dunk. It's not that. You got guys who just moving on the court and just making the game more exciting. Anthony Edwards, during the off season, he made it known that he's working on his mid range game. So that's and that mid range game, in my opinion, is just going to make the game so much more exciting. And y- y- these new crop of players, they understand that. They see that that's what the game has been missing, and so they bringing it back. Now, as far as uh, you know, people missing LeBron James or Rich Paul trying to make it seem like the NBA is in trouble if LeBron don't retire. You had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar who retired and the league survived. Um, you had and when Kareem retired, he was the leading scorer himself. So the league went on. Magic Johnson, the league survived Magic Johnson once he retired. It survived Larry Bird's retirement and Kobe Bryant. And league even survived Michael Jordan's retirement. And the good thing about it is, like ratings dropped a little bit when Mike retired. But the good thing about it is nobody is bigger than the sport. That's the thing. Like nobody is bigger than the sport of basketball. Everybody, all of these guys just played their part in being like a ambassador for the game, and stuff like that. But Rich Paul and LeBron James seem to think that without him, the league won't, the league won't survive or something like that, which I think is crazy. I think without them, I think without LeBron James, I think the league is going to be better. Hopefully you don't see guys moving from team to team, especially franchise ball players. You'll see these guys staying in one city, you know, just um just trying to tough it out, building, going through the ups and downs of trying to persevere and win and stuff like that. Allowing the fans in each one of these cities that have franchise ball players to witness that, like, and go along on that ride with their franchise ball player instead of when things get tough, your franchise ball player just, just sneak out of town. That's not good for basketball. It's not good for basketball for your franchise ball player to want to play with other franchise ball players so they can stack the deck against, the rest of the league. That's not fun. That's not exciting. That's not entertaining for the fans. Not as entertaining as, as watching your guy just every year, Some years when they fall short, then they go back to the drawing board. You have renewed hope because your guy's going to work on his game over the summertime. That's what Magic and Bird used to do every year. Like Larry Bird and Magic spoke about every year how they came back with a new move or a new skill or a new mindset, a new determination to to get over that hump. And the fans rode that ride with those guys. And when you have guys who didn't want to do that, who felt like they couldn't win unless they're playing, and it wasn't just LeBron James. I thought Kevin Durant, when he left, I thought that kind of, although LeBron James take the brunt of that, um, he take the brunt of that punishment or that resentment that comes with guys coming from team to team. But I think that these younger players see that and see how it affects the people's legacy. They see like how it has an adverse, a negative effect as like how the media portrays you. And I think they don't want that. I think they just want to go and try to build on what they have in whatever city they in for the most part. And that right there is just going to make, in my opinion, it's going to make basketball more exciting to watch. It's going to make the ratings go up, attendance is going to go up, and the league, I'm pretty sure, is going to recover from, it's going to recover after LeBron James leave. Uh, and I think LeBron James and Rich Paul, I think they, I don't know, they overestimate their the amount of leverage, that they have. And I think they would have more leverage. LeBron James and Clutch Sports, they would have more leverage if had LeBron James stayed in Cleveland for his entire career, or if he had left Cleveland and stayed in Miami for the balance of his career, right? That would have been more, in my opinion, that would have gave him the opportunity to have like a more loyal fan base. But like Nick Wright said in a video that I made earlier, he never had a forever home. LeBron James never had a forever home. And that affects his legacy. That affects the way the media portrays him, and that affects the way the fans see him. The fans they didn't have the opportunity to endear themselves to LeBron James had he stayed in Cleveland for his entire career. I think had LeBron James stayed in Cleveland and only won like 2 or 3 rings, I think it would have been better than him going from, playing on 4 different teams, 2 times in Cleveland, 1 time in Miami, once in Los Angeles. But have him moving around like that, if he'd have stayed in Cleveland and won 3 rings, I think his career would look a lot better. He may not have gone down as the GOAT, but his career would look a lot better than, moving around from team to team, because people who have seen Mike, Magic, and Bird, and then those fans who know the history of the game, they, they can identify with those guys because, they watch those guys and they follow those guys throughout their career. Mike, Magic, Bird, Isaiah, Kobe stayed in Los Angeles for his whole career. Karl Malone, John Stockton, they stayed. Well, Karl Malone left, but John Stockton, he stayed in Utah for his entire career. Um, but Karl Malone, even though Karl Malone left Utah, I think people still see Karl Malone as he got that loyal fan base in Utah. He was really dedicated to that Jazz fan base while he was there. I think he left there chasing a ring, and he went to Los Angeles after that. But yeah, it affects your legacy, man, in a negative way when you are a franchise ball player or you are like one of the faces of the league, and then you just leave. So for Rich Paul to make this statement that like the league is going to suffer, or when LeBron retires, the NBA ratings will drop. I just think that he overestimate the amount of like he can't expect the fan base to be loyal to him when he was never loyal to the fan base. Like, what fan base was LeBron James loyal to? He wasn't loyal to anybody but LeBron James, and that's going to reflect in his legacy. So that's my take on this crazy statement that that he made. Like, they people in LA ready beyond ready for LeBron James to retire from the Lakers. So they ready for a new start, and then so is the rest of the league. They're just ready for a new start. LeBron fatigue, that's what it is. LeBron fatigue. So make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment in the chat, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Peace.